Water for Seeds presents A Parent's Guide to Remove the Fear of Math, the easiest way to improve math literacy using the 10 most important numbers, with founder and president Mia Durr. So on today's agenda, we're going to discuss the following: how to remove the fear of math, the 10 most important numbers, understanding place value, addition using the 10 numbers, and subtraction using the 10 numbers. Before we proceed, I wanted to emphasize our mission here at Water for Seeds. Water for Seeds intends to address literacy from the roots, planting new seeds of hope and inspiration. Our mission is to improve both literacy and the overall quality of life of children in the United States. I'm going to begin by posing the question, why do so many of us fear math? For some reason, math has been feared by many as being too complex and too hard to understand. However, math is a tool to help us with everyday tasks like counting items, managing money, and sharing things amongst a group. Now that we looked at many of the reasons why people fear math, let's start to examine how we can start to remove that fear. So how can you remove the fear of math? When you utilize math in a way that benefits yourself and others, you begin to release the fear of math. Furthermore, when you practice math with intention, you start to pick up on a common pattern. The more you practice math, the more that you'll start to pick up on the pattern of numbers. And there seems to be a pattern with 10 numbers in particular. Let's begin removing the fear of math by understanding there are only 10 numbers that repeat in any number from 0 to infinity. Now let's explore what that means. So as you practice, you'll start to realize that the 10 most important numbers in math are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. All of these numbers can be seen in any random number and in any varying place value. That means that one or more of these 10 numbers will appear in any number. Now let's talk place value. So before we go further, I want to emphasize place value in our understanding of these 10 numbers. So to help you better understand the 10 most important numbers, it's important to understand place value. Each number you encounter can be viewed by its place value, starting with the ones place. So in this sample here, I got this from mathmonks.com. We're using the number 92,735. Any number you see 2 digits or more, always plug it into its place value or visualize it in its place value, and it will help you to understand and compute larger numbers. So for this sample here, 92,735, we know that the 5 is in the ones place, the 3 is in the tens place, the 7 is in the hundreds place, the 2 is in the thousands place, and the 9 is in the 10,000s place for this particular number. Now this will go in be utilized for any number that you choose that is 2 digits or more. You know that any 2-digit number will only have a ones and tens place. If it's a 3-digit number, it will be the ones, tens, and hundreds place, and so on and so forth. You will always look at the number based on the number of digits, and that will tell you which number will fall in which place value, and we'll explore that in the following slides. Let's take a pause right here, because I want you to understand that your mind is a mental calculator. That even if you are in a position where your phone died, you don't have a calculator on you, and you need to compute a number. Say, for instance, you're dealing with money, but your phone died, and now you're trying to compute 2 numbers. I want you to understand that there is no need to fear. The calculator is here, right inside your mind. So a great way to improve your mental calculator is to observe numbers in your everyday life. So when you see a number that is 2 digits or more, take each digit of that number and add them straight across. Keep adding until there is only a single digit left. The sum of the numbers added together will always be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. Let's practice and see what that looks like. For our first practice number, so again, we're walking down the street and now we see the number 39. So we're going to use the number 39. If you add each digit in the number 39 together, the sum will be a single digit number. So first we're looking at the number 39. We'll do 3 plus 9, which equals 12. So now we're still stuck with a 2-digit number. Keep adding until there is only a single digit left and there's no 2 numbers to add together. So from 12, we're going to separate the 1 and the 2. So 1 plus 2 equals 3. This is all a game that you'll use when you are walking down the street, when you're observing numbers in everyday life. It's just a way to improve your mental calculator. Like every time you see a number, just keep adding them until you have a single digit left. Let's go to the next practice. Next, we're going to practice with a 3-digit number. Let's use the number 517. So imagine that you're walking down the street and you see 517 ABC Lane. Take the numbers and add them straight across until you get to a single digit. So for this number 517, we're going to do 5 plus 1, which equals 6, plus 7 equals 13, 1 plus 3 equals 4, and 4 is the final answer for this problem. So on your next walk throughout your neighborhood, try this method and see how many times you can get the number correctly. You can always use your phone to double check your answers. Now for this next practice, we're going to use an extra large number. We're going to use a number in the millions place. Now say for instance, you are observing numbers and it's a serial number. So normally serial numbers tend to be greater than 6 digits. So if you see this number, let's use the number 10,897,465. So again, it will not have all these commas. I'm just using this for place value understanding. But in this particular problem, we're not really focusing on place value. We're just focusing on improving our mental calculator. So we're looking at the number 10897,465. We're just saying that this is a number. So you add all of the digits in this number straight across. The sum will be a single digit number. Now for brevity, I broke down the numbers and reduced them to 2 digits, and then I broke them down further to their single digit form. And that's only because this number is large, so I didn't want to keep breaking it down one by one. So I simplified it for this practice item. So for this problem, we're taking the number 10,897,465. So you do 1 plus 0 plus 8 plus 9 plus 7 plus 4 plus 6 plus 5. You're just going to do it straight across, like in terms of writing it down. Say, for instance, you had a pencil and a pen and you're just observing it. But again, you're using your mind, and the more that you practice this, the more that you'll start to compute numbers faster. So for this sample, we know that 1 plus 0 is 1, 8 plus 9 is 17, 7 plus 4 is 11, 6 plus 5 is 11. So now, because we have 2 digits here on the second row, we're going to split all the 2 digits off into single digit form. So we're going to do 1 plus 1 plus 7 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. Did I say enough ones? I think I did. In any case, the total is now going to be 13. So now we're going to split, because we still have 2 digits left. We're going to split 1 and 3. So we're going to do 1 plus 3, and that will be 4. You can practice this in any of your daily activities. Like I said, if you come across a serial number or an address, or if you come across a license plate number, just keep adding. And like I said, each time you do it, you will improve your mental calculator in regards to addition, but you'll also be able to do it with subtraction as well. But we'll explain that as we go further into the video. Before we proceed, I want to make a note that we'll only be focusing on positive numbers only for this particular video. We will get into negative numbers as we progress through the stages of math. I just want to simplify it and not create any additional fears by inserting negative numbers for these practice items. Now that we've been practicing utilizing our mental calculator, we're going to reintroduce those 10 numbers that we were just discussing. So use any of the 10 numbers below to prove that your mind is a calculator. Let's practice with addition first. So we're going to practice using the number 1 first. Now I want you to reimagine that place value chart that I showed you a little bit earlier. And now let's use place value beginning with the single digit and increasing by place value, by tens place, hundreds place, thousands place, and 10,000 place. So we know that 1 plus 1 equals 2, 10 plus 10 equals 20, 100 plus 100 equals 200, 1,000 plus 1,000 equals 2,000, and 10,000 plus 10,000 equals 20,000. Next, using the number 2, we know that 2 plus 2 equals 4, 20 plus 20 equals 40, 200 plus 200 equals 400, 2,000 plus 2,000 equals 4,000, and 20,000 plus 20,000 equals 40,000. Now we're going to increase our computing skills. We're going to use numbers that add up to double-digit numbers. So next we're going to use the number 5 for this example, for this practice problem. We know that 5 plus 5 equals 10, 50 plus 50 equals 100, 500 plus 500 equals 1,000, 5,000 plus 5,000 equals 10,000, and 50,000 plus 50,000 equals 100,000. For our last problem, we're going to use another number that adds up to a double digit. So we're going to use number 6 in this equation. So we're going to do 6 plus 6 equals 12, 60 plus 60 equals 120, 600 plus 600 equals 1,200, 6,000 plus 6,000 equals 12,000, 60,000 plus 60,000 equals 120,000. So why am I bringing this to your attention? It's important to understand that when you start to view numbers in terms of their place value, particularly practicing with single digit numbers, which will be the ones place, you will be able to better understand and compute larger numbers, which will be in the tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s place, and so on and so forth, because you'll understand the number in its most basic single digit format. You can practice this at home. Just use any of the numbers from 1 to 9 and plug it in and start to practice and observe the patterns and start to observe numbers in their place value. And like I said, it will help you to compute larger numbers. So if you see two large numbers together, you're no longer inducing a fear of anxiety within yourself. You're no longer saying to yourself, oh my God, how am I going to compute 555 plus 2,683? You're just observing the numbers in their most basic form and putting them in their place value, then computing from there. And I'll start to give more examples as we proceed through the video. Particularly at the end of the video, I'll show you a sample problem and how I compute math and how I teach it to my children as well. We're going to take another pause and remember the number 0. So any number plus or minus 0 equals itself. So for this sample rather, starting with subtraction, we know that 1 minus 0 equals 1, 2 minus 0 equals 2. For addition, we know that 4 plus 0 equals 4, 5 plus 0 equals 5, and so on and so forth. So just remember that and help your child understand that when they're computing with the number 0. Let's move on to subtraction. So we're going to make subtraction easy by using the 10 numbers again. Use any of the 10 numbers below to prove that your mind is a calculator. So again, we're not going to fear math when we see numbers. When we see numbers together, we're going to be adding and subtracting them and utilizing our mental calculator everywhere we go. And we're going to improve upon that calculator with numbers that we see in everyday life. Let's begin our subtraction practice problems. So we're going to begin with the number 9. So we know that 9 minus 6 equals 3, 90 minus 60 equals 30, 900 minus 600 equals 300, 9,000 minus 6,000 equals 3,000, and 90,000 minus 60,000 equals 30,000. So again, we're going to focus on the place value and observe the pattern. Start to recognize the pattern in numbers. And like I said, it will help you to strengthen your mental calculator. Let's move on to the next. For the next subtraction problem, we're going to use the number 8. In this particular problem, we're going to do 8 minus 4 equals 4, 80 minus 40 equals 40, 800 minus 400 equals 400, 8,000 minus 4,000 equals 4,000, and 80,000 minus 40,000 equals 40,000. I wanted to take an additional pause here because I wanted to make a note. When you're looking at subtraction problems, that initial base number is called the minuend, and then the numbers that will be subtracted from that minuend from that base number is called the subtrahend. So even if you're dealing with a multi-step problem, if it was like 8 minus 4 minus 3 minus 2, the 3 and 2 and the additional numbers minus that minuend are still going to be called subtrahends. And the final answer is going to be called the difference. I wanted to note that so that when you're explaining subtraction problems to your children, it just helps them to further understand what they're doing as they're completing their math homework regarding subtraction. You can also plug in any numbers. I just used the numbers 8 and 4 here, but you could have done 8 minus 3, 8 minus 2, or any number you like. It's just a practice to help you understand number patterns and how to observe numbers in different place values. Lastly, we have number 7. So we're going to do 7 minus 2 equals 5, 70 minus 20 equals 50, 700 minus 200 equals 500, 7,000 minus 2,000 equals 5,000, and 70,000 minus 20,000 equals 50,000. We're going to take another pause right here and discuss counting to 10. So although this video focuses on numbers 0 through 9, we recommend teaching your child to count to 10 starting from 1. So using the closed fist method, we're going to teach our children that when our fists are closed, that symbolizes 0, that represents 0. But then when we begin to count, let's say we start from our thumbs to the opposite thumb, we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, until you get to the opposite thumb. This will help them understand numbers in sets of tens. This will be important when we use our place value charts, since 10 is the beginning of the tens place. So I wanted to make that note. If you have any books already at home regarding counting to 10, keep all your books, still teach them to count, keep all of your number charts. It will help them to recognize patterns, which is the most important thing that I wanted to really stress in this video, to get them to recognize the patterns of 0 through 9 and how numbers repeat. And once they start to recognize the patterns, it will help them to better understand math in the different equations that they may come across. So I wanted to make that note before I concluded the video. So I want to conclude this video on a high note. Beginning today, no more fearing math, okay? We're going to say together, no more fearing math. We're going to say, I do not fear math. I do not hate math. There is nothing to fear about math. Math is easy. It's easy to understand. I just need to take the time to slow down, recognize the patterns, and I will unlock doors in my mind. I will improve my mental calculator. Okay? We're going to start affirming these things. Another thing I noticed is that as I was tutoring over the last 20 years or so, on and off, I would come in contact with people who say, I hate math. I never understand math. I hate doing math. So we're not going to say that anymore, okay? We're going to say math is so easy. It's so easy to understand. We're going to start to replace our verbiage, any negative speech we have towards math, because math is universal. It is something that we can all use to help us in our day-to-day life. We just have to be more intentional with our understanding of it. So to conclude the video, how to improve your math skills and remove the fear of math. Number 1, understand there is nothing to fear. Number 2, remember the 10 most important numbers, 0 through 9. Number 3, understanding place value. Number 4, improve your mental calculator by practicing addition. So that was the examples I was giving you. If you're walking down the street and you're on 27 ABC lane, add those numbers up straight across. What's 2 plus 7? That's 9. So whatever you do, whenever you're coming across numbers in your day-to-day life, just start computing them with addition. Okay? Just do it in your everyday life, and it will help to improve your mental calculator. Number 5, practice using the 10 numbers with addition and subtraction. So the most important thing, I keep saying everything is most important because everything's important. It's all connected. But the most important thing with practicing using these 10 numbers is to start to recognize the patterns, start to recognize place value. So this is something you can do with your children at home. Practice daily. I'll add a video towards the end for anyone who's interested past this point to give you examples of how I teach math for K through 5th grade, for those who need to understand the basics of math, for those who struggle with math. Because if they can understand these basic concepts, it will help them to unlock doors for their future success in math, okay? So I hope that you found something helpful today. Hope that you found something that is beneficial, help you unlock a door in your mind, help you to improve your mental calculator. Please share this with your children. You can sit down with them. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. And until next time, my name is Mia Durr here at Water for Seeds, and I will see you again in the next video. Bye.